Okay, ladies and gents, it's time to review the third and final assessment this semester on linear functions and applications. We've already taken this twice. This function here, or equation, is a line. The reason I know that is because the x is to the first power. Now, I don't put a first power, but that's what that means. It's going to be a linear function. Now, the line, the y and the x are on opposite sides, so that's going to be in slope-intercept form. So the most efficient way to graph it is, because any line has a slope, as long as it doesn't move straight this way or straight up and down. It's not going to, because the y and x are both here. Slope and y-intercept. So the y-intercept is a coordinate. 0 is the x, -2 would be the y, and then the slope 7 over 1. Okay, so I plot my point, -2. And the slope of the line 7 over 1. That means a rise of 7 and a run of 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right, 1. You can't really do it again, so 2 points is good enough. Okay, and there's my line. Now in our next equation, the x and y are on the same side together, so that is in, again, the x is to the first power, so we're good there. Neither one of my variables is to a power, so it's in standard form, because of x and y. Standard form, we find the x and y intercepts of the graph, okay? So that's the double coordinates with the 0 for x, that's my y-intercept, and the 0 for y, that's the x-intercept. Okay, I write that out twice. And if x is 0, we replace the x with 0, but that means we can get rid of it. So -5 times y equals -40, so we'll divide by -5, and that's 8. That is your y-intercept. You plot that point on the y-axis. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, now if y is 0, we replace the y with 0, which means it takes that out. So I have 4 times x equals -40. And then that's -10, so that's your x-intercept. So count by 2's on that one. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, because going by 1's takes you off the graph. You can have the y by 1's, the x by 2's. That's perfectly legit. Okay, take your straight edge and plot the points. Now, I don't have to do any true-false because there's no greater than or less than. Okay, only equals, so it's just the line itself. Okay, next problem, you only have one variable. It's called constant form. Constant form, I use 3 coordinates. And the x is constantly at 2. The constant is for the x. Sometimes it's for the y. Y is 1, 2, 3. Okay, so x, y, go forward 2, up 1. Forward 2, up 2, forward 2, up 3, and that is a straight vertical line. If the y is a constant, it'll be a horizontal line. It's like flipped of what the axes are. Okay, number 4, 3x plus 2y less than or equal to -12. Okay, now again, they're both to the first power, so it's a line. Treat that as it equals, and since they're on the same side, it's in standard form. Okay, so in standard form, we set up the intercepts, okay? That's where I put 0 in for one letter, 0 in for the other. Now write that out twice, but when writing it out twice, just write equals -12, because you don't really flip the sign when forming your line. Okay, x is 0. That wipes out our x, so 2 times y equals -12. So it's going to be -6. And if y is 0, 2 times 0 is 0. So 3 times x equals -12, divided by 3. And we got -4. Okay? So the y-intercept is -6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then the x-intercept's -4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we make a solid line because you have a equals to Okay, so it's both an equation and an inequality at the same time. So I just take my straight edge, connect them. But now you also have to shade the side that has all the points that make 3 times x plus 2 times y less than negative 12. And I have to do a test, okay? The true-false test, all right, test. And I put 0, 0, okay? So I replace both the x and the y with 0. So you're going to have 3 times 0 plus 2 times 0 less than or equal to negative 12. That's 0 and that's 0. That gives me 0 on that side. 0 is the bigger number. The sign is not opening up towards 0. That's false. So you have false, you have true, and then you shade the true side. Highlight the true side, I should say. Okay, so that's the equation. That's all the points that make 3 times x plus 2 times y less than negative 12. So watch out for the inequalities after you get your line down. Solve inequality, graph your solutions. Inequality solutions are represented with the number line. Okay, so there's a tendency for the sign to flip. So here's my x, the multiplier is a negative, so that means our sign flips, because eventually I will divide both sides by a negative. So we subtract 13, and that's 10. And then I divide by negative 5. So I have x, the sign has been flipped because I divided by a negative, negative 2. So my solution's cutoff is negative 2. Fill it in, and then less than goes that way. Okay, solving absolute values. Do not distribute. Okay, do not distribute. That is not a parentheses. You're going to make a table. And on that table, you're going to write the expression 3x plus 2 twice, because these have 2 solutions. Now look outside. First, you have a multiplier of 2 and a minus 5. Okay, that's the 2 things that's happening outside your absolute value. So you have to deal with the minus 5 first. So some of you are like, does it matter? Yeah, you got to add or subtract first, and that's 34. So I've got 2 times the absolute value of 3x plus 2 equals 34. Now don't minus the 2. 2 is multiplied by the absolute value. So if I see multiplication, we divide by 2. That gives me 17. So I can now put 17 and negative 17. Because your absolute value of 3x plus 2 is equal to 17. The 2 places to have an absolute value of 17 is positive and negative on the number line. You just minus 2, that's 15. Divide by 3, that gives you 5. Minus 2, that gives you negative 19. Divide by 3, you can divide it, you can leave it improper, whatever. Okay, you can make it a mixed number, it'd be negative 6 1/3. Okay, but that's how that works. Rewrite the equation in slope-intercept form. You got to get the y by itself. So y is over here with a multiplier of 2. We have to get the 5x to 0 by subtracting it. Now make that plus negative. You don't minus it from 14. 14 doesn't have an x. So I line up my equals. I've still got 2 times y. I want to adjust the order so negative 5x comes first, then the 14. Okay? And then I divide by 2. Now, you can either write negative 2.5 or negative 5 over 2x, okay? And then 14 divided by 2 is 7. Now it's in slope-intercept form. And also, if you go down 5, right 2, that's the same as going down 2.5, right 1. It's the same ratio. So. Okay, now this was pretty heavy on the story problems. I don't give them all on this, but these are the ones you need to be prepared for. An internet service charges $50 for installation plus $40 per month. That's 2 units. If a person has paid a company $490, how many months have they had the service? So with 2 units, I'm going to make a table, X, Y. X is months, Y is money, 0. Now before they even mention months, $40 per month, you paid $50. Okay, so I want to make the 3 boxes with the line. There is a B value, but you know it's 50. So you got dollars and months. X is months, Y is money. So dollars per month. Dollars per month rate is 40, 40x. Okay, you don't need to put B because you know the B value is 50. Okay, equals Y. So my equation is 50 plus 40x equals Y. Now I have to solve for the months. That means I have to find what the X equals. So we have to put a number in for Y. And we're going to put $490 in for Y. Okay, so 50 plus 40x equals 490. Then I solve for x. I minus 50. So that's 440. 40 times x equals 440. And then I divide by 40. And 440 divided by 40 is 11. Okay, so 11 months. Fairly straightforward there. Okay, Tom has $600 and saves $20 per month. Bob has $100 and saves $30 per month. After how many months will they have equal amounts of money? Okay, now I'm going to make 2 tables here because there's 2 people. X, Y, X, Y. Okay, X is the months, Y is the money. X is the months, Y is the money. Now, before they mention months for Tom, you got $600. Before the months for Bob, you have $100. So that gives you a dead giveaway. You're going to make the 3 boxes. So you've got dollars and months. Okay, X is months, Y is dollars. So per, dollars per month. Dollars per month, you have 2 of them. You have 20x and 30x. Both of them positive because they're both saving money. So you make 2 lines out of that. 20x here, 30x here. Plus, plus, equals y, equals y. Now this guy started at 600. And the other guy started at 100. Now, cross out the y's. Don't even put those in here. Okay? Because when you write your equation, you're setting them equal. So 600 plus 20x. I don't want to see y come in with 2 lines. On the other side, you go 100 plus 30x. Okay, we'll get the smaller x to 0 by subtracting 20x. And that's going to be 10x. So 600 equals 10x plus 100. And then we subtract 100 from 600 to get 500. So 500 equals 10x, and then you can divide by 10, and that's 50. 50 months. Which is quite a long time. Okay. Okay. Plane A and plane B travel for equal amounts of time. The first plane travels at 700 miles per hour. The second plane travels at 775 miles per hour. If the faster plane travels 800 miles further, how far did each plane travel? You need to use your speed distance time table. Okay, you can put 1, 2, or fast and slow. Doesn't matter. Okay, so you got the speed first. Speed or the miles per hour, you have 700 and 775. Fast is 775, 700. Then the distance. Distance is unknown, so we use x, but one thing we know about the distance is that the faster one went 800 miles further, so we add 800. And then finally I write my time. Now I don't know anything about the time other than they're equal, okay? But time is equal to distance divided by speed. Now I can't divide because I don't know the distance, so I use the expression x plus 800 on top and then 775 on bottom, then x and 700. So set up those proportions. And then to solve it, you have to use your A, B, C, D cross products. Okay, so equals A times B equals C times D. So A is going to be X plus 800 times 700 for B, and C is going to be X times 775. So I distribute. 700 times X is 700X. Then 700 times 800, yikes, it's going to be 560,000, okay? On the other side, you got 775X. Now you just solve it. You get the X, the smaller X, to 0. So that's 75X, so 560,000 equals 75X, and then divide by 75. You may get a decimal. We're just going to round to a whole number. Yeah, 7,467. It's a plane, so it goes a lot of miles. Then you're going to add 800 onto that. 7,467 plus 800, 8,267. So again, the distance, speed, time table. Okay, next two problems you can get, they're easy to mix up. Okay, that says B exclamation point there. I am losing weight at a constant rate each week. 3 weeks after I cut weight, I weigh 205 pounds. 6 weeks after I cut weight, I weigh 190 pounds. I want to stop when I'm down to 170 pounds. How many weeks of cutting is this? Okay, so I go X, Y. X is weeks, Y is pounds. Now, don't put 205 in for the Y at 0. Okay, for weeks, the 205 is with 3. 3, 205. You're not going to put 190 either. That's 6, 190. Okay? Now, you obviously have to have a B because you're going down, but you don't know what it is. That's why I have B exclamation, so you're setting up the 3 boxes with the line. Okay? So you got weeks in pounds. Time is X, pounds is Y. So per, pounds per week. Now we don't know our pounds per week, okay, because it skips 0, 3, 6. So I have to use my Y minus Y, X minus X. Remember, the Y is for the pounds and the X is for the weeks. So the pounds go from 205 to 190. Don't put 170. That's your number down here, okay? First two numbers, 205, 190. And the weeks that go with 205 is 3, 3 minus 6. So that's going to be 15 divided by -3, which is -5. So every week it goes down by 5 pounds. Now, we didn't know what we began with, so the B value is Y equals MX plus B with the combo because it's a story problem. Those three got to get out. M is -5. Okay, that's a -5. Combo, you got to pick a weeks and a pounds in the same sentence. We'll pick 3 weeks, 205 pounds. Okay, weeks is X, pounds is Y. So 205 goes in for Y, and then we multiply by 3. So 205 equals -15 plus B. So we add 15 to each side, and that's 220, which makes sense. 220, then down to 205 after 3 weeks, then down to 190. Okay, so my equation is 220 plus -5x or minus 5x equals Y. Now I'm solving for the week, so I'm solving for X, so I have to put the final number in for Y, 170. It's not 0 this time. 220 plus -5x equals 170. And then get rid of your 220. That's -50. And then I will be dividing by 5, and that is 10. So it's going to take 10 weeks, okay, total cutting from where I began to get to 170. So that B tells you something. Means you need to be using the line, okay? Because you don't have B. Okay, next one. I can type 5 pages in 2 hours. My friend can type 7 pages in 2 hours. How long will it take to type a 25-page paper if we work together? And these tables are not mandatory, okay? They help maybe make sense. X is hours, Y is pages. Now, if you think about it, and you'd have 2 tables, okay, because you got 2 people, kind of like that other problem. But guys, if you don't type for any hours, and now, by the way, 0 hours, okay, 5 pages is for 2 hours. If you type for 0 hours, you ain't getting any pages typed, okay? And likewise for our buddy here, okay, 0. Again, it's not 7, that's after 2 hours, so 2, 7, okay? Those zeros are why you don't have a B, okay? So no B means you go straight into your proportions. Now there are 2 people, so you're going to add a third ratio. Now you got to put the time on the bottom. The hours go on the bottom, the pages go on top, or this doesn't work out. So the first ratio, 5 and 2. Our second ratio, 7 and 2. And then our third ratio is 25 pages, but I don't have the hours. That's what I need to figure out. So we need to add those two. 25 over x. That no b means we don't need to make a line. That's completely useless. It's a proportion. Now you can add on your calculator. If the denominator is already the same, it's going to be 12 over 2. But if you didn't have common denominators, you go 5abc2 plus 7abc2, which is 12 over 2, which is 6. You're going to put 6 with a 1 under it. It means you can do 6 pages in 1 hour. So 1 times 25 divided by 6, it's going to be 4 point, just put 4, okay? Between 4 or 5, something like that. It'd be 1/6 of an hour, which is 4 hours, 10 minutes, but that's here nor there. Okay, 2 people are to combine their earnings to buy a vehicle. The husband worked 160 hours last month. The wife worked 170 hours last month. The wife earns $250 more per hour than the husband. Their combined earnings are $5,375. How much does each person make per hour? Now you have 3 units, so you want to arrange your tic-tac-toe table. So you got together. And then you got husband-wife money. We're going to put the husband, the wife, and then how many per and total, and put a $ above per and total. Now the total money amount made was $5,375, okay? Get rid of that, don't need it, okay? How many? Okay, that has nothing to do with money. So how many units does the husband have? 160. His wife has 170. Add them, you get 330. You cross those out as you place them in the table. Now the only thing we know about the dollars per is that the wife earns $250 more per hour than the husband. So you can put X plus $250 in the wife and just X in the husband. We don't need Y. So parenthesize that expression because you distribute, because that obviously is 160x, and then you're going to have 170x plus, then I take 170 times 2.50, and I get 425. Now combine your x's, okay, add those, okay, that's going to be 330x plus 425 equals 5375, okay. Minus your 425 from both sides, and 330x is equal to, you should just add them on the table, 5375 minus 425, 4,590, then we divide by 330. I got 50, so that's the husband. Okay, husband makes that. The wife earns $250 more per hour. That'd be $1,750. Okay, last two. A soccer coach is buying soccer balls and bags. The soccer balls cost $11 each, while the bags cost $17 each. The coach buys 32 items for $424. How many of each did he buy? You have 3 units again, so we're going to set up the standard system. So together, and you're buying balls and bags, you got to write the word because B and B isn't going to work. How many per and total. Okay, so how many? Fill in your total first. You paid $424. Get that out of there. Okay, how many balls and bags? Something that's not a money. Okay, these are not how many. That's how much they cost per. Okay. The only thing you know is I bought 32 items together, so that's going to be X and Y. And then the balls, okay, cost 11, and the bags are 17. So here I write 11x and 17y. So you have the equation there, but you're going to need another one from there. So I set up my t and write a system. So x plus y equals 32. That'd be ones, and the bottom's 11x plus 17y equals 424. So we're going to multiply the top by 11 and the bottom by 1. So it's going to give you 11x plus 11y. 32 times 11 is 352, and then the bottom remains the same. 11x plus 17y equals 424. Now you're going to always add these, but these, you need these to cancel. That'll cancel them, but then the other ones in the bottom have to become negative. So negative 6y, when you add those, negative 72, divided by negative 6, and y is 12, okay? So here's my y, I bought 12 bags. Now to get your other equation, you're going to use one of the originals, 1x plus 1y equals 32. So I have my solution for y, so get y out of there and put 12. And the product of 1 and 12 is 12, so 1x plus 12 equals 32. Minus 12, you get 20. You really don't need to divide by 1, it would still be 20. 20 balls, 12 bags. Okay, then the final problem. A hotel offers 2 activity packages. One costs $192 and includes 3 hours of horseback riding and 2 hours of parasailing. The second costs $213 and includes 2 hours of horseback riding and 3 hours of parasailing. What's the cost per hour of each activity? 3 units, hours of horseback riding, hours of parasailing, and then the overall total, the overall money. Okay, so together, and put HB for horseback and PS for parasailing. How many? The cost per and the cost total. Now, funny thing is, you actually have 2 total costs. You have 192 and 213. So equals, the 2 equations come from down here. Okay, now how many? That has nothing. Look for the numbers without money. 3 hours of horseback riding, 2 hours of parasailing. Remember, we need 2 things in every box if we have 2 things in the total together box. And then 2 hours of horseback riding, 3 hours of parasailing. So they both come to 5. Now, we don't use those 5s. And we don't know anything about the cost per hour. There's no more information left. So XX, YY. So it's going to be 3x and 2x and 2y and 3y. So my system's from the bottom, and we have 3x plus 2y equals 192. 2x plus 3y equals 213. Okay, the x's have to have a common coefficient, so I can accomplish that by timesing by 2 because of here, and then here I times by 3. So it's going to be 6x plus 4y, and I take 192 times 2 to get 384. And the bottom is 6x plus 9y. And I take 213 times 3, I got 639. Negative, negative, negative. Out, and you add. It's going to be negative 5y. Negative 255. Divide both sides by negative 5. I got 51, okay? So y is 51, so the parasailing is $51 per hour. Now I'm going to write, you can use this one, this one, this one, this one. I like to just go the top, then I don't have to look around in the system, okay? So y is 51. And 2 times 51 is 102, so 3x plus 102 equals 192. Then you minus 102, which is 90, so 3x equals 90. Divide by 3, and that's 30. Okay, and I'll review tomorrow up in the front.